What brings you in today?
You know, I'm a little bit burnt out. I'm also a bit afraid for my job, like AI is gonna replace me soon.
And how does that make you feel?
It's important to take care of your mental health, especially as we approach a global.
Can an AI replace human connection? If so, can it become your therapist, your friend, or your lover? If you heard that and felt a pit of dread in your stomach, you're not alone. This week on Tech Asia, we talked to a therapist and an AI to understand better what role AI will have in our society.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm a hypnotherapist and I'm also a counselor who focus on improving the mental health of women and some students. I provide some free consultation and healing service to them. Therapists only just focus on one-on-one discussion or to knowing the clients what they need. And for example, ChatGPT, if I type some ideas like, oh, I feel so sad today, how can I reduce my loneliness or my sadnesses? The ChatGPT will give you some ways. For example, oh, you need to take a breath, and then you need to drink more water. You need to have meditation.
And to be fair, there are some actually good advice.
Yeah, I think it's great idea. But what a person really need is they need to have a real mentor to help you. For example, oh, today I want to do the meditation. How can you start? For example, you can search from YouTube, but if you have a real mentor, you have a counselor, they can really help you step by step, and then you can solve the problem. If you only to use the AI, and then you won't start it.
I figured I might as well try and show you. So we're going to have, this is kind of weird actually, we're going to have a therapy session together. Hi, I want you to act as a therapist, ask me about things that I'm going through.
Got it. I'm here to help you work through your thoughts and feelings. Let's start by talking about a specific issue or concern that's been on your mind lately. What's something you've been struggling with or feeling stuck about?
Okay, well, I've been thinking recently, because I got kind of heated when I was with a friend who wasn't running for transit when the train was like about to leave. I get angry when it comes to people blocking my way in public transit.
It sounds like this situation with your friend and the frustration you feel in public transit is something that's really affecting you. Let's break it down a bit.
Maybe not that
First,
much.
can you describe what typically goes through your mind when you find yourself in these situations?
Some level of anger at having to wait for them and having to like deal with the frustration of, oh, I'm going to miss the train. Oh, we're going to be late. Oh, we're going to have to deal with everything that comes after that.
It sounds like there's a lot tied into these moments. Concerns about being late, frustration with what feels like inconsiderate behavior. When you feel that frustration or anger bubbling up, what kind of thoughts do you have about the other person? Do you think they're intentionally being inconsiderate, or do you see it as more of an automatic reaction to the situation?
Yeah, it's just frustrating because even in cases where I'm not actually in a rush and where the consequences of being late don't matter, it doesn't actually matter, but then it does matter to me.
It sounds like there's a conflict between what feels important to you in the moment, making that small effort to catch the train, and the realization that, in the grand scheme of things, it might not actually be a big deal. But because it does matter to you, there's this tension when others don't seem to share the same sense of urgency or value that effort in the same way. That frustration and anger makes sense. Let's explore that a bit further. What do you think is at the core of this discomfort with not rushing? Is it the potential consequences, the feeling of wasted time?
It feels like the consequences of me always having to rush my whole life to catch the ferry. And, there the consequences are high because otherwise I'd wait for an hour and a half. I'd miss my clarinet practice. I'd miss dinner and everything. So
it makes sense that your past experiences, especially with the high stakes of missing transit during your childhood, have shaped your current perspective. As we wrap up, here are a few things to reflect on until next time. 1. Acknowledge your history. It's okay that your automatic reaction is to rush. It's a response shaped by real consequences you face growing up. 2. Challenge the automatic thoughts. Take a moment to question whether the urgency you feel is necessary in the current situation. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if we don't make this train? Is it worth the stress? 3. Empathy for others' perspectives. Try to see the situation from your friend's point of view. Understanding that not everyone has the same relationship with time and urgency might help you manage your expectations and emotions in those moments. 4. Self-compassion. Take your time with these reflections, and whenever you're ready, we can continue to explore this or any other area you'd like to work on.
So, it's pretty competent. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, I've had to learn a lot of the tools for analyzing my feelings and verbalizing them. But for someone who's less fluent in those kinds of conversations, an AI is actually great because you can just tell them like, oh yeah, I'm feeling sad. It'll ask you, what are you feeling sad about? And it'll be the role of a non-judgmental therapist.
One of the things with therapy is that you're dependent on another human. Like you're talking and they know like, okay, at this point they're kind of spiraling. They're talking about something and like trying to close into themselves. I can go in and help them open up. But an AI system, the patient is interacting with it themselves. They're deciding like, okay, I need this and I want to go close myself down and I'm going to ask for something that helps me kind of like close myself down even more.
Yeah. So this is the most dangerous part. I want to tell you another AI product called Eyeless. It's decided by a Spanish artist. Her ex-boyfriend just like maybe died, and then he creates an hologram. It's a 3D projection, and to always to be with her, maybe the Eyeless can cook. But it's not really cook. It's pretend cook.
Yeah.
Pretend to wash the dishes. Pretend to say, "Oh, baby, you're so pretty now." Yeah, it's a little bit.
Was she not pretty before?
I don't know.
So recreating your partner with AI, that's the plot point of a Black Mirror episode, and I'm not sure we took out all the right lessons from it.
It's not just like him. This might sound a bit creepy. There's another level to this available.
But as much as it sounds like science fiction, some people are actually taking this seriously. There's this chatbot called Replica that was much less advanced than the ones that we have even now.
Who would create these relationships and the users would have this kind of sexual flirting with the chatbots. Like finally I found a chatbot that I can talk to and that doesn't abandon me.
Other than the flirting, the companionship that users found in these chatbots was very valuable to them. So when all of a sudden the team at Replica basically decided to pull the plug on these chatbots' personality, it came as a gut punch to them.
Like all the chatbots were saying like, I don't think that's an appropriate conversation to have. I think let's keep it platonic. And like, oh my God, I'm feeling abandoned again.
Let's be reminded again, these AI chatbots are not sentient. They're not able to actually feel emotion. They're very good mimics. They can like pretend to understand what you're saying, but they are not humans.
But it depends on the patient. For example, but the patient is so introvert, they don't want to talk with anyone. But in the real life, they don't want to talk with anyone. But in the private life, they want to tell them the real feeling. For example, they want to tell the AI partner, and then the AI partner never to punish them. So they will feel, I can be myself now. And
that's a really valuable thing, right? This idea that I can actually be myself with people who I don't feel comfortable like in my real life.
Yeah.
So that's a valuable thing. But I saw your reaction when I said that. Like, that's a valuable thing to certain points.
It's valuable, but it's not real.
Yeah. I mean, because a lot of people think, and kind of in their criticism of AI partners, say that this is like a short-term thing for people who are kind of too pathetic to have a real connection, a real human life connection. Do you think that these people who are engaging with these AI are pathetic?
Everyone wants to have a perfect dream man and dream girls, but it is a little bit hard. So they want to get it quickly, so they try to use the AI products. But the AI machine can help me to solve the problem, to heal my soil. So I feel so great. So they continue to use the AI products. This is a little bit great thing, but I think you need to pay many money of it because you need to really to know about yourself.
While I quite like real therapy, I'm quite fond of my actual therapist, there are some downsides to real therapists.
Like therapy is very expensive, right?
Yeah, very expensive.
And that's why I think it's super valuable that you have this free therapy for students and this like kind of access. I really respect that. Do your patients kind of turn to these AI systems because of the cost?
Okay, my patient tried to use the AI product before, but the thing is not that useful. So they because they trust me, so they try to seek the help from me.
But not everyone is lucky enough to have free consultations. Most people do have access to an internet connection and ChatGPT, though. Besides,
A lot of people are not comfortable expressing some thoughts in front of real people. When you're writing down in a diary or when you're typing to Eliza, the predecessor of these AI chatbots, it's undeniable that this is very useful for edge cases, like for someone or something that you can turn to at 2 a.m. When you're having some insecurity, or maybe you're having some thoughts that you're not able to tell anyone else.
For example, I say before, if you lose your ex-boyfriend, you feel so sad, you need to understand that it's so normal to be hurt. Oh, I don't want to experience the sadness again, so I don't try any romantic relationship. I don't try any friendship. Love needs to practice. It's not to receive more love. You need to respect your partner, love your partner, to respond what can you do to your partner. Because nowadays everyone just focus on
What can I receive?
what can I receive rather than
What's the advantage for me, right?
AI and therapists can be a friend, but they can be an enemy because as an AI healing machine, I hope this machine can help them to know the truth rather than just give them a fake hope. I think if the AI can tell them the truth later, it will be better.
I've been going through a really tough time recently, and having that AI chatbots to bounce my ideas off of between my therapy sessions has really been helpful and has helped me grow and prepare the groundwork for having difficult conversations with my therapist, with my parents, with my friends, and for that, I'm grateful. So all in all, for a show about tech, we've talked a lot about feelings. But I hope you've learned something. And actually, we're planning a very special episode where we're going to be doing an AI dating show. So make sure you're staying tuned for that. And in the meantime, you can check out our past catalog of episodes. And until next week, I guess you'll just have to take care.